Well, I'll say this. I mean, there's a lot to be said about that. HD. I was thinking about asking, and I might ask it. Like, do you think our families are harder on daughters than sons?
I think they are harder on women, and I think I think the way that they treat men a lot of times, or young boys, they're so scared of their aggression
Hmm.
that they just like we're scared of what an uncontrolled man looks like,
Mm.
right? So you're almost kind of scared to allow him to like experience and kind of play with it. So it's just like oftentimes it's like a lot of times we don't know what to do with men or young men because we're scared to create something that's going to harm the rest of the group.
And that's what I'm kind of speaking about earlier. Is we are not really holding men accountable as a collective because, kind of to your point, we're scared. Whether it's fear, whether it's not my responsibility, whether it's hey, I'm doing my self work, I'm good. It's the women's problem. It's something we're not. There's something broken. Like I try to say on my podcast. Listen, a kid can come from a great home, and those boys are going to possibly get indoctrinated. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole, but I'm just saying male culture is toxic. It's sending a lot of toxic messages. We should be looking at 50-year-old men saying, "Yo, let's go out to the club and yo, let's do this and let's do that." We should look at them like fucking clowns. I don't know if we can curse on this platform, but I'm just saying we should look at them like clowns. But we in our culture, we look at them, we like, "Yo, let's just. I want to be just like them. We're gonna emulate them." No, like the 50-year-old men should be showing us how to. They should be straightening us out. They shouldn't be looking at the 20-year-old men and saying, "Yo, how can I just get down to that level and behave like that too?"
Yeah, I listen. I think fundamentally you're trying to correct an issue a specific way that I personally just don't agree with.
I
And
understand.
I understand your reasoning. I understand the way that you operate, which is fine. But I know that ultimately we want the same thing. We want men to be better. We want relationships to be better. We
Hmm.
want the community to be better, right? We
Hmm.
just think we got different ways of doing it. And I'm not going to be the agree to disagree guy. I'm just saying, hey, we got a difference of opinion. That's
And
okay.
and HD, what I'm trying to say is the work that men have to do is not going to always be a group homework assignment. You're going to have to turn in your homework by yourself sometimes.
Yeah, and we agree with that. That's what I'm saying. Like the way that we're articulating our points and our ideas, we're looking for a similar result.
Right.
We're just have different ways of bringing that to light. So, listen, I ain't got no issue. All I know is that like, listen, I am a proponent that said that we need two. It took two to make us. It's going to take two to fix us, and we need to get together. And there's a reason why that even when we talk about, well, everybody doesn't believe in God, right? That's fine, but like, there's a reason why in Scripture, like, there's a reason why in Scripture it says that it's not good that man be alone, right? And that
Sure.
he will make a help meet. Even you, sir, there's a lot of things that you're able to do you didn't do yourself. Did you
Sure.
help the process? Absolutely. There's nobody that is successful in this world that didn't have somebody or something help them. You didn't make your car, but you take your car to work to go make your money. You didn't make that computer. We didn't make these platforms. We didn't make none of this stuff on YouTube, but we use it to articulate whatever message and thought that we have. Nobody wins alone. Nobody. Because at the end of the day, you even take the strongest, most talented, most rich person, you get enough people against that person, he's going to fall. So we must understand that our community wasn't created, you know,
Okay.
solo. You need a
Sure.
team. Any wise person that actually has built anything needs a team. The men building houses, they have a team. The people building companies and families have a team. You
Right.
need a group of people to push people in order for them to be the best version of themselves.
I agree with you. It takes a team. I'm saying it starts earlier than that. The male culture is toxic. If you want to focus on, I know it's a very divisive topic, the incels. Women have nothing to do with that work that those incels need to do to get straighten themselves out. They have nothing to do. It's a male problem. It's a patriarchy, misogyny problem. And you could say, well, get them girlfriends, get them sex. That's not a solution. These guys have to do some self work. So I'm just saying that we got to really uh, conquer and try to approach some of these really things that have been very comfortable for us. The culture of sowing your wild oats. We need to revisit that and say maybe this is not the way to go. Because some people are going to go through that and they're going to straighten themselves out and become married at 30 or something like that. And some of them are going to be the 50-year-old men in Hooters who all the Hooters girls know them by name, know their order by name. I'm just saying. What I'm just trying to say is like, we have to, the problem that I'm seeing with men is they want to keep the culture the same and they want to just squeeze more juice out of the woman. They're not squeezing anything out of the men, but they want to keep the culture the same. They want to be the leader. They don't want to be. They don't want to. They think they're above approach. And I know like when I talk, it sounds like I'm getting satisfaction out of pointing to the men. I'm just saying there's a big opportunity there, and we can straighten this out really well if we just all hold each other accountable. And it starts with, I remember in this generation, I'll land the plane with this. You have men in this generation saying, I shouldn't have to protect all women. Why should I have to be a gentleman? This woman hasn't earned it. Being a gentleman is not about the woman or the people earning it. It's about how you want to show up to the world. It's about setting a standard and trying to, and also putting an example to others, young and old, and saying, this is how I'm showing up, whether you want to follow it or not. So I'm saying men in this day and age, they're questioning all the stuff. They're questioning marriage. They're questioning being a gentleman. They're questioning treating women with respect. We got to go deep. And we got to really start to influence these boys. That's all I'm trying to say. It might come off harsh.
I don't disagree with you, but we're talking about a generation of men that many of which grew up in a single parent mother home, bro. And it's unfortunate that not enough of them had a positive male role model. I understand where you're coming from. I do. And I actually don't blame women for much, because with the example that I used earlier with, hey, I'm bringing you into my life. There's certain criteria you got to meet. And if you want to be that in my life, you'll acquiesce to those things, because I was moving quite intentionally when I looked around and found this one. She's super dope, by the way. And I think all men should move that way. I do. I think that men need to ignore the noise. I think that men should deprive women of their favorite currency, which I believe to be attention. And I think we will see a whole bunch of things change. That's how I personally believe. So I wanted to make that very clear, that that's how I believe. But I can't say I don't understand these men when they say things like, yo, these women moving foul. A lot of these women move like men, and whatever the hell else they say. The reason I have a difficult time articulating their point is because I don't agree. I just understand where they're coming from because I've seen it. But for me, my suggestion to them is leave her alone. Leave her at the restaurant. Remove that attention. Go find somebody else. Continue to work on you in that journey. But we, as men who understand this, we need to grab somebody from the generation that's coming behind us and say, hey, this is how we do it. This is how we move. This is how we progress forward. And not enough of us are really doing that, which is why they're questioning all of these other things with when they see a divorce rate of what is it, a 50% divorce rate,
60% in the black community.
60%
But so
that's a hard sell for these young men. That really is a hard sell. and a lot of them are going and getting their bag. So we have to do a better job of explaining how men are supposed to be. We need to be the influence that I had. I don't hear enough of that, but I don't think we need to beat up on them either. I think we need to be more understanding about what it is they see and what it is they're going through, and try to help them on a more individual basis, as opposed to trying to grab everybody at the collective, because they'll just tune you out. And that's what we see a lot of. And I'll land there.